Anne Widdecombe is one of the Conservatives' best-loved figures, thanks to her staunch personality and 2010 turn on Strictly. But the 70-year-old's right-wing politics, strongly influenced by her religious convictions, might shock CBB viewers. Her Catholic faith has influenced her views on abortion as well as gay and transgender rights. But she disagrees with the Pope on the death penalty and would see pregnant women in labor chained to their beds. The former MP is anti-abortion and staunchly pro-life. She has been thoroughly involved in many pro-life campaigns and even moved a pro-life bill herself in the late 1980s. Earlier this year, to mark the 50th anniversary of the Abortion Act 1967, she told the Pro-Life Alliance that the nation's conscience has been deadened. And she called for people to commemorate 8 million lives lost. Anne defended the controversial practice of chaining up women prisoners when they are taken to hospital to give birth in 1996. Some MPs may like to think that a pregnant woman would not or could not escape. Unfortunately, this is not true, she said in her role as prisons minister, according to The Independent at the time. The fact is that hospitals are not secure places in which to keep prisoners, and since 1990, 20 women have escaped from hospital. Meanwhile, Jack Straw, Labour's Home Affairs spokesman, said it was degrading and unnecessary for a woman to be shackled at any stage of labour, adding that no prisoner in labour had ever escaped. Anne might have several close gay friends, including Craig Revel Horwood from her Strictly days, but she never voted in favour of gay rights reforms during her 23 years in Parliament. She voted against an equal age of consent for gay people as for straight people and voted against same-sex adoptions. Anne also voted against civil partnerships and the Equality Act. She has also previously expressed support for so-called gay therapy, according to Pink News. And she admitted if Horwood ever married a man, she wouldn't attend. I always follow my conscience. Most of my friends would not put me in that position, she said. In 2014 she wrote, if the baker had refused merely to bake a cake because the customer was gay, then that would indeed have been both unpleasant and illegal, but the refusal was specific to the message requested for the cake. Surely it is an elementary feature of true democracy that nobody should be obliged by law to affirm that which he or she does not believe. She added, in the free country that bakers should be able to refuse to take part in what is effectively PR for gay marriage, in the knowledge that any customers who do not like that decision are free to buy their morning loaf elsewhere. But then it is a long time since Britain and freedom were synonymous. Among her fellow housemates is transgender newsreader panelist India Willoughby. But Anne could be about to clash with the stereotype-breaking loose women panelist thanks to her comments about trans people. She recently criticized Prime Minister Theresa May's reforms to help trans people change their legal gender more easily. Responding to the PM's speech, Widdecombe said, I think this is very bad news for a lot of confused young people, and if I were the Prime Minister I would think rather long and hard about this. She added, I don't think you can have the sort of process which she envisages, which was set out by Justine Greening, a very simple process whereby you just say I'm a man or a woman. If you do that you get men in women's prisons or men in women's refuges. I think also you can confuse the young at that point because they think it's a simple matter. Anne has given her support for the reintroduction of the death penalty as a good deterrent for wrongdoers. In 2016, she praised the death penalty because it saves innocent lives, in The Guardian. It is possible to make a compelling moral case for the availability of a death penalty, she wrote. Capital punishment can be rarely used and still be a deterrent as long as it is available and used occasionally. Widdecombe might be a strong female character, but it seems she couldn't care less about equality of the sexes. She describes modern feminism as whining and whinging, despite women the world over fighting for equal rights. And she's very clear about men not being much use when it comes to parenting, despite never having children herself. I was caught up in the women's equality thing in the 70s, when feminism was about getting out and achieving, not about whining and whinging, like it is now, she told The Telegraph in 2014. But I think I would quickly have realized it should have been me bringing up the children, not someone else. And why does Anne think men can't bring up children? I happen to think it's a woman's job, she said.